With No Time to Die right around the corner, I thought I'd go back and revise Casino Royale, just do a little review on it. It's been so long since I last fully saw this film. I remember a lot of key scenes, there's obviously a lot of memorable moments. The cock and ball torture scene, obviously, and Mads Mikkelsen's bleeding eye. All of the poker scenes and that airport chase. Him winning that Aston Martin off that guy. I watched this film a few days ago with a couple of friends. It was one of my friend's favourite films and he was really excited to watch it. I think he mentioned it a couple of weeks ago and we decided to rewatch it. I was really curious to see the film again because I've not watched it once in my adult life. A fucking Lego over there. So it was almost like watching it for the first time again. My mate was saying you have to pay attention, it's a very intricate plot, and I was like, well, isn't it just a James Bond film? Isn't it like a goofy action film? Do I really have to pay attention? Just based on what I remembered from Spectre, I remember that being really schlocky and over the top and stupid. But to the film's defense, Casino Royale has a very thick plot and it's relayed to the audience very subtly. Because when I'm with my mates, I go into ADHD goofball mode, I just want to muck about. So I usually avoid watching heady movies when I've got mates around. I just want a more relaxed movie night. Like maybe watch something trippy that you don't really have to interpret, you can just think of what you will. Like Razorhead might be good because it's like, what the fuck's going on here? You don't really have to figure everything out, you're supposed to be confused. So when we were all watching Casino Royale, I was half in goofy 13-year-old humour mode and half in concentrated film prep douchebag analysis guy. Ever since I've started this YouTube channel, people are like, oh, you haven't seen this film, aren't you supposed to be the film guy? There's an expectation on me, but really I'm just a fucking idiot. I kept missing stuff that my mate had to keep re-explaining to me. I felt like a right dumbass. But I'd like to believe that if I was watching it on my own, by my lonesome, and I was in kino mode, I'd be concentrating and nothing would go over my head. I'd get everything, I'd understand it all and take it all in and reorganise and decode. I'd like to think that, but maybe I am just a dullard. I did pick up on other things though, things that always tickle me about films. My friend kept going on about how this was the first gritty take on a Bond film, removed from the cheesy, fanciful films of the pre-2000s. So it was interesting going into this film with that in mind. All I really knew about that topic was that Jason Bourne was a heavy influence on why James Bond was reinvented to the way that it was, in the manner of which it was. Daniel Craig delivered a much more thuggish and blunt Secret Service agent. I really enjoyed how much this film embraced the cold-blooded amorality of someone who'd be in this line of work. To be a secret assassin isn't this romantic job that the Connery films would have us believe. I like those Connery films fine for what they are, but they weren't intended to be viewed as thought-provoking pieces or anything. They are just fun adventures and there's nothing wrong with that, apart from when he's like shagging everyone left and right, treating women like fucking objects, like fucking sex toys. But Daniel Craig is seriously sociopathic to a degree that I probably didn't fully appreciate when I was watching this as a kid. Like, he is fucked. The cynicism of the story reminded me a lot of The Spy Who Came In From the Cold, as well as multiple noir films from all the different eras of Hollywood. The opening sequence to this film even pastiches 50s noir, films from old Hollywood that tackled more gruesome subject matter compared to the more fanciful escapist films. That whole opening scene was just awesome. It set up the new Bond perfectly, it was well acted, the dialogue was not only well written but just cool. Just that fight in the toilet is a brilliant visual accentuation of this newly reinvented grisly James Bond franchise. Like, this is going to be some cold, stark, bitter Secret Service work. I didn't significantly enjoy the entirety of the film, but I appreciated everything about it. I did like how reserved it was as an action blockbuster. A good portion of the screen time is devoted to poker games, and that makes it stand out more as an action film from the late 2000s, like historically. It's not just, oh yeah, and then there's a big battle here, there's a big car chase and it all blows up. It's not just action set piece after action set piece. But to be fair, when there is an action set piece, it is awesome. My favourite one was that opening chase through the construction site, simply because of all the free running that they made the stunt doubles do, or some of the performers do. I was watching it and seeing this guy climb up all of these iron girders and it looked really real, so I was starting to think, oh, they probably got a real free runner on set to do the stunts. And then literally a couple of moments later my friend said, oh yeah, they got a real free runner for this, so that made sense. And that ties into another big positive I have with the film, and that's that all the grandiose action looks quite real. Filmed on location, they're hanging off a real crane over what looks like a real drop, so it's instantly going to be way more tense than if you'd use like CGI or like a green screen. And it was also just really fun and didn't go on for too long and it didn't get repetitive. And because they got a real free runner who apparently is like the best in the world, or was at the time, the shit he does, that he's literally literally doing on set, it just elevates the entire thing. It's like, fucking hell, that's cool. That's creative. Oh, what's he gonna do now? Oh, fuck. It's quite funny too because of all the collateral damage. The sinking building set piece in Venice at the end also looked to be a real set that they'd constructed specifically for this scene. Again, it's just more much appreciated attention to detail. A large chunk of the runtime was also devoted to the love story James Bond had with Eva Green, which I wasn't really asked about. These action films never really sell me on these romantic interest subplots. I think the two actors had excellent chemistry, and there was some pretty good dialogue there, but when he quit his job to go be with her, I just thought it was way too early for him to be in that kind of mindset. Like, way too soon in the relationship, especially for a guy with his trust issues. Although I wasn't at all invested in the relationship, I really love what that story arc stood for in relation to the themes of the film and the commentary on James Bond as a whole. It was a solid ending and a bitter reintroduction to this beloved iconic character. This film was also quite daring as well. It seemed to border on an R rating, I thought, just because of that torture scene in particular. Like, that's a really ballsy thing to have in your film, in like a 12A film, no pun intended. Families say, oh, I should go watch the new James Bond film, kids.
Yes!
You see that, like, that's really fucked up. And I like it.
To the right! To the right! To the right!
The film is extremely dark at times, which just goes to show you that younger generations can withstand more stuff than we give them credit for. Because I watched this when I was a kid and I turned out fine and like, shut up and just don't even fucking say anything, shut the fuck up. And also, this film has a fairly standout score. For the most part, it's all this fast-paced, jazzy, secret agent, suave sort of tones. But then you have this one distinct piece that accompany the scenes where he's falling in love with Vesper, and it's the best part about those scenes. Because it's the only piece of music that's remotely sentimental or emotive, it ties in with the ideas the film is conveying about James Bond and what Eva Green's character represents for him. It was his one last attempt at intimacy and trusting, and it was bluntly extinguished, illustrating to him that he should never have attempted it in the first place. So yeah, there's a lot to chew on with this Bond film, so treat yourself. Go and rewatch Casino Royale. Of course, I'll be reviewing No Time to Die as soon as I get the chance to see it, so stay tuned for that one, babes. I can't promise anything about the others like Spectre or Quantum. I might review Skyfall, but it all depends on when me and my mates get around to watching the rest of the Bond films. Thanks again for watching, and I hope that if you do go to see No Time to Die, you have a good opportunity, a good safe opportunity to get to the cinema. Thanks for tuning in to The Brick Show. Subscribe for more LEGO set reviews.